Hey everybody, good to have you here. This is day 5 of our vlog called Paddling Through the Mountains. I just want you to look outside at that window. What do you see? Green grass, hooray! What I love about the Seattle weather is that underneath all the snow, if we get some, it's not brown and bleak ground as hard as iron like it is in the Dakotas where I grew up, but instead it's moist and lush, green grass, grace. It's amazing. As I took my dog Piff out for a walk, Piff, by the way, is short for Epiphany, this morning, though, I walked by a particular bend in our road that has always troubled me. I bet you have one of these in your neighborhood somewhere. I didn't notice it in the snow, but when the snow melted, I found out what it was covering up. Bags and bags of garbage mixed with an old sofa chair, old sofa and chairs, just dumped there. For some reason, this little spot has become a dumping spot for some people. Why this place, I wonder? Why have we chosen to dump here? It seems in our world that there are thin places where the membrane between the heaven and earth are so thin that we can almost touch and feel God, the sacred, the lush green grass. But then there are also these thick places where the membrane between heaven and earth is so thick it's like a 12-foot concrete wall. And it seems like these are the places where people tend to be at their worst. We're at our worst there. And instead of green grass, we see instead the leavings of a troubled and incomplete life. This week in one of my daily vlogs, I talked about the importance of finding out just what the kitchen sink is in your life and doing all you can to tackle that kitchen sink daily. The kitchen sink for me has become a metaphor for that life-giving place that's so vital in the area of my life that it must be cared for daily. I find in my ministry, it's not the desk, it's not my office, but it's actually, the kitchen sink is actually daily visits with people, contacts. But today, I want us to think, and I want you to ponder about the opposite of those thin places, those thick places. We all have them, don't we? The places we stub our toe on over and over again. If you remember the Christmas movie, The Wonderful Life, the thick place for George was that place, remember on the stairwell that he turned and he always, the little top of the post came off. That just seemed to be the place where he stubbed his toe. For us spiritually, these are places along the road where we tend to collect all the garbage of our inner life. They're the places where guilt and shame and inadequacy and incompleteness often pile up and overwhelm us. For many of us, these places are dangerous places. They're places in the shadows that tend to pull us away from what God wants us to be, our sacredness. Those places we often need help in cleaning out. Sometimes we need to get professional help. But even when we do, these places tend to be places where all those leavings tend to gather up again and again and again. What do we do about these places? How can we keep them clean? I think one of the ways we maintain these places is to pay particular attention to our self-talk. I believe there are certain places in our lives that our self-talk becomes the most damaging saboteur in our journey. We're our biggest enemies. I mean, it's bad enough to have all this negative noise around us and coming at us. But often what really keeps us down is our own self-talk and reflection. Often our most ruthless critic is the person we see in the mirror every morning. That's pretty tough, isn't it? This week, I encourage you to start paying attention to that self-talk. When you fall, when you fail, what kind of words do you use internally? Are there particular places or aspects of your life that you are particularly harsh on yourself? Experts call these self-talk traps. Could you work on changing some of the wording of that self-talk so it doesn't push down and cut so deep? Maybe there's a particular word or phrase you use with yourself that's particularly biting that you need to tackle. Maybe take that phrase and try to flip it into something a little gentler in your life. Here's a couple examples. A negative: I failed and embarrassed myself. Well, could we flip that to I'm proud of myself for even trying? That took courage. Or another negative that I often have is I'm overweight, not a shape. I might as well not bother. And the positive might be I'm capable, strong, and I want to get healthier for me. One of the places where my self-talk is the worst is in the car. For some reason, it's there that I find myself being the toughest on me, ruthless. So I've taken to doing a couple of things there. One, I often call up some of my friends or some of the people in church and do a pastoral visit over the phone. Of course, I have Bluetooth, so it's safe, but I turn it into something positive. I also have several favorite song lists on my Spotify account that help me lift my spirits, and I play them in the car. So now instead of tearing myself apart in the car, I'm singing, "My lighthouse, my lighthouse." I'm singing in the car. Well, anyway, I hope this helps. Remember, you're never alone in this. We're all trying to do this together. And if you ever get stuck, you can always give me a call. I might be in the car. It might lift me up. I'd love to hear from you. And remember, we're all in this together. So let's work on these things together and hope you have a great day. Thanks.